Hey everyone, this is Sean. So today I want to show you how to build AI agents using two of the latest AI models, GLM-4.6, which is launched by Z.ai on September 30th. And one day before that, Claude 4.5 was launched. These days, all the top AI research labs are trying to decrown Claude for building capabilities. So today, let's try something real time. I'm going to show you how to build an AI agent using both models and see what happens. I have set up Claude code for both models. The first one is GLM 4.6. The other one is Sonnet 4.5, and I have summarized all of them in a GitHub right there, ready for you to use. So before we jump into get started on building, let's just take a look at what is new about GLM compared with the previous models. So they claim that they have a longer context window, currently has increased up to 200K tokens. They have superior coding performance, advanced reasoning, most capable agents. Also, you're gonna see a ton of these benchmarks that shows that how much better like one model is compared to the other one. I don't want to stop at just comparing benchmarks. I really want to test things in real time. In terms of pricing, Z.ai was trying to match the max coding plan just like Claude. So they are providing a $30 per month subscription. Well, from the second month, it will be $60. For Claude, that would be $100. And in terms of the API call pricing, GLM, just like most other open source models from China, are significantly cheaper than Claude. So you can see that 4.6, the input is 60 cents, the output is $2.2. If we take a look at the Claude, also per million tokens, the input is $3, the output is $15. So it's 20% for the input, 14.7% for the output. Anyways, now let's jump into the actual building process. So in this GitHub, you can see that I prepared this repo that shows you how to set up things real quick. So the first thing is that you need to copy the secret.m.example to secrets.m. Basically, it's two different setups for you to configure Claude code for both models. And you just need to put your own keys to replace these key values. And then the next step is that for a quick start, you need to do source config _ glm.text and Claude with model GLM 4.6. Or you could do source config Claude tx text and Claude model with 4.5. If I just copy this and paste it here, hit enter. Yeah, you can see that now GLM 4.6 has been configured. I'll just say, what model are you? Thinking for a few seconds. Okay, GLM 4.6 model, right? Similarly, I asked Claude 4.5 as well. We're gonna build an AI sales agent that will respond to any emails inbound, and then we'll do a few tasks. Let me just show you in the GitHub real quick. So if I scroll down a little bit, you can see that I prepared this prompt over here. All right, so this is our task today. Basically, I want both models to try to build a sales email response classifier and then auto-respond AI agent using FastAPI. So the task is basically clone this FastAPI repo that I built before and then create a new Git repo for it, set up the AI credentials as you need, and most importantly, in the backend, what I really want is that it should create these 4 endpoints. The first one is classify an email for me. So like if I paste in an email body with an email subject, you need to tell me if customer is interested, not interested, question, meeting request, and other. Basically, it's like an intent classifier for the email of any inbound. The second endpoint is generate a response. So that's basically an agent replying to an email of a customer. Okay. The third one is processing the email, which is combined endpoint. All right. So what it does is that it shows me the classification, suggested response, and process time of how long it took for running. You need to track how many tokens you use. You need to deliver a working FastAPI application, and then test the suite with sample emails, documentation, requirements txt, all these kind of stuff. Without further ado, let's start testing and paste it in. I'm gonna copy this and start running GLM 4.6. Come over to Claude 4.5, paste it in. Okay, cool. I'll help you build a sales email response classifier and auto-respond AI agent using FastAPI GLM 4.6. Okay, and here is also done. It says that the folder name is GLM 4.6. Okay, so far so good. Let's just enter and continue. Beautiful. You can see 2 folders here at the same time. It has given me these endpoints, all right, the main endpoint. It has got the classify email. You can see the priorities are different, right? GLM 4.6 is basically setting up your environment, not setting up the packages, whereas the Claude 4 is already building the main.py. This is like a parallel universe where 2 models are competing with each other. And we're like playing the God role here, watching which one is doing a better job. Let's test it one more time. Good. It's working, guys. It is working. Let's see. In the terminal, it returned that category is interested, confidence 0.95. Reason is that the prospect explicitly states, I'm very interested in learning more about the pricing plans. This API process email, it takes as input the email body, the subject, sender name, and it should be doing the both API at the same time. Let's take a look at the code. GLM 4.6, if we search for process email endpoint, all right, so in this endpoint, firstly, it's doing classifying the email. The second step is generating the response. And then it's calculating how many tokens it took. Okay, let's test it real quick. All right, so initially, it created this category that is interested. And then it created a response. Okay, good. I would say it's already working for the GLM 4.6 version. Let's also try to set up the Claude 4.5 version as well. GLM 4.6 made an error on fetching the environment variables, and Claude 4.5 made an error on authentication issues. I think LLMs at the end of the day, it's full of issues with randomness. It's not like fully reliable. So as a builder, no matter what tools you use, I highly recommend that you dive into the exact events that happened while using the code. And personally, I still prefer Cursor, to be honest, because Cursor can tell me which piece of the code has changed, and I can click in the chat to see which file and where it is. Claude Code trying to automate the whole thing, but I don't think it's adding convenience for me, but it reduced the amount of information I could consume at the same stare at the screen, and it's less flexible for me to click on things to check which file is changing and where. Let's try the classify email one. So I'm gonna say 8080 for the same one. All right, I saw your product demo and I'm very interested. I learned more about your pricing plans. So let's try out 8000. Remember, it's GLM 4.6. 8080 on the right hand side is Claude 4.5. Claude responded a little longer. So the total tokens for GLM was 255, and Claude used a little bit more token, 279, given the fact that GLM's pricing is 20% of Claude. So it's literally 80% cheaper and more. That's crazy. And then let's see. The confidence is very similar. Yeah, the user is interested. The prospect explicitly states that they're very interested. Last but not least, let's try the processing email real quick. I'm going to say 8080. Okay. Firstly, GLM 4.6. Secondly, Claude 4.5. Makes it a little bit bigger. Okay, so we can see that for the same question, I saw a product demo, I'm very interested about pricing plan. This one says interested, both are doing a good job. And then the input token over here, the total token was 254, and Claude obviously used more than double the token, 602. So Claude is using more token than GLM. I think the testing is pretty much done. It's very interesting. Firstly, I felt like from a building perspective, both are doing a good job for setting up the main.py AI agent framework. And then we were testing it in real time. Well, we were testing with a simple task, right? Just sending a very simple email, understanding the intent of the customer, generating a simple response. So these are very, very handy and helpful for a lot of the sales agents use cases out there. But you could see that the number of tokens being used for Claude 4.5, well, at least when it's a slightly more complicated task, it uses more tokens than GLM. And even if in some situations they're using similar number of tokens, but the cost per million token is significantly different. So my personal opinion is that when it comes to simpler tasks where you need to run something at scale, for example, if you run a sales agent in your product, Like for example, I'm a founder of an AI sales lead manager called Automanus.io. Our product probably will deal with a lot of WhatsApp and email responses and then summarizing them into our sales leads hub. I would say try to use something cheaper if there's no clear response difference in terms of speed, in terms of time spent, in terms of the quality in most cases, because you're literally saving 80% of the cost. But at the same time, I feel like because we're not doing like super complex large project for coding, we're doing AI agent basic framework setup. I would say you could try to use Claude to set up a basic infrastructure of your product. And then later, if you're iterating things, feel free to try all sorts of models. And especially when your context is very long, and especially when the basic infrastructure of your product has been set up and your context becomes bigger and bigger, I would say try to use something that could be a lot cheaper, because at the end of the day, when you're not doing huge amount of refactoring of your code base or writing something from scratch, you're just iterating features. With this long context, I think cheaper model is a better use case. But we have to say that in coding as a whole, Claude is the best model out there in terms of performance, in terms of the complex understanding, in terms of tool usage. But I would say as a startup founder, budget is important, right? We're running on runways. It's important to think about at what situations you might be smart about what models to use. Okay, that's my general take from this entire competition between all the top AI research labs in this world. As a builder, as a founder, what we can do is let's just use the best tool out there for the best use case. Okay, when you can save money at scale. When you don't want to save money, when you can just when you're just getting started, try to use the most complex and sophisticated model so that you get things done right. So now both the sales email agent GLM 4.6 and YT sales email agent Claude 4.5 have been committed to my GitHub. Feel free to check them out. And the original setup is all here in the YT Z.ai Claude GitHub repo. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for chiming in.